We used to have demons, ghosts, or weird creatures hunting us. Now it's grief, sadness, the past. Horror movies as of late have started to echo a haunting word, a word that is perhaps more disturbing than the very demons possessing a person. Trauma. Studios are starting to realize that fear isn't just darkness or strange and inexplicable monsters. It's the very pain we carry, our existential thoughts, the very fact that we're fragile. I mean, what's scarier than losing the people dearest to you? What happens when you try to channel your pain into something else? What if you see something so horrible you can't ever forget about it? Movies don't need to claim that they're based on a true story anymore because they already are true stories. Grief is real. Loss is real. And you do still smile even if you are hurting. Let's take Smile. It's not about an unknown creature that's hunting you down. It's about what happens when no one believes you're truly suffering, and then it's too late. You see something terrible, it stays with you. You zone out, you stare at nothing, and it stares back, kind of. A simple birthday party is just noise. A random person on the street starts to feel aggressive, almost. Like they're watching you. No matter where you look, you can't get away from it. The world may seem normal, but for you, it's upside down. And a smile upside down is a frown. Horror used to be, we see something creepy, and on our walk back home, we'd be looking behind us, checking every corner to make sure something weird like that wasn't following us. It was even sort of exciting, but in a fun way. Not anymore. It stopped being fun. Grief doesn't fade away we expect it to. It changes shape, but it never fully leaves us. And that's seriously messed up. We don't get to just walk away from a movie feeling eerie, on edge, but still laughing, making kind of fun of each other, especially of that one friend that got scared of that one weird jump scare. It used to be about survival. Now it's just emotional baggage, something we carry with us. And because we can't just shake it off anymore, because we all have our own little traumas, we're reminded by them. And what we see on screen just attaches itself to those neurons in our brains that sort of reignite that trauma or that experience. And horror becomes personal. It becomes unforgettable. You look at something like Hereditary, and what you have, it's miscommunication. It's grief, it's trauma, sadness, all of the most humane emotions that you can think of, interpreted in some darker and sinister way. The horror lies within the most basic elements of humanity, and those things are so close to our own lives that we can't help but feel scared. Now, what horror does is hold a mirror to us and ask, and how messed up are you inside? Because hey, if you're even slightly messed up, this could be you. You lose someone and it scars you for life. And the more you try to fight it off, the worse it becomes. Because you're not fighting an evil entity. You're fighting yourself. And what you're left with is loneliness. Everyone in their own sad little world just suffering. And then we sprinkle some spooky things on all this like it's some seasoning and call it horror. But there's more. They don't just rely on our trauma anymore. Because some of us maybe don't have all that much sadness. And if you are one of them, great, lucky you. I envy you. But even you won't leave the theater unscathed. Because they've started to make sure we all are traumatized. Before either of us becomes any more traumatized, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel and like the video in hopes that this channel might grow someday, even a slightly bit. A girl's head popping off, a brother going to bed awake all night, not moving a muscle as the sun comes up, and bam, you're sort of traumatized. And when we watch a movie like that, we're left not just feeling scared, but feeling hurt, almost like our heart aching. And that's so much more effective than a random jump scare, because emotions, they stick. You lose your entire family overnight, and all you've got is some friends who plan on enjoying a summer vacation in Sweden. So you join them, because what else have you got left? And instead of dangerous people hunting them down one by one, like we would normally expect, we see a totally serene, even happy, calm, bright cult dancing on green grass. There are no monsters, no weird demons, no screaming nuns, just people in the whitest dresses. And then we find out about how messed up they are. And what it is it's traumatizing. It's unhinged. But what's even worse is it's real. It could very well be real. Somewhere in the world, something like this might just be happening right now. People doing all kinds of weird cult stuff to other people. As real as trauma. And knowing that is already enough to instill more fear than any demon caught on a tape. After a Conjuring movie, you might have said, well, no more clapping for a few days. I'm on edge. After Midsommar, you're never gonna go to a festival in Europe. Like ever. But okay, let's take a step back, because trauma isn't the end of everything, right? I mean, you can still come back from it with treatment, therapy, and with love. And horror movies show us that love is probably the most important in that list. Without it, there is no cure, there is no getting better, no matter how many pills you take. Trauma isn't the end. The end is when no one believes them, and everyone around them starts to, drift away, and they become isolated, left with the bad memories. Pain shapes us in ways we sometimes cannot fathom. You're not you, per se. And you end up doing things you could never, let alone do, but imagine doing. The thing with trauma is that even with love and a new attitude, it lives on. You can't ever let go of it entirely. And the writers, they know that. There is this phenomenon called viral latency. It's the ability of a pathogenic virus to lie dormant within a cell, meaning it's in the cell, but it's not active. The problem is that this virus can stay within the host indefinitely. And by host, I mean you and me. But at some point in your life, if the conditions are met, it could randomly activate and make you very, very sick. You go around without a care in the world until one day you hear a name, smell a perfume, or sit in the wrong room, and suddenly something just isn't right. And that's what horror is nowadays. It's past experiences reactivated. It tells us if you watch long enough, you'll see just how broken you are too. And how easy it is to fall back into that loop of agony. Because look, these guys, they have fallen into it. And it only gets worse. You see, Smile uses this trick constantly. You think the smiles are scary. What if something makes you remember? And then you can't forget again. And even if you do accept it, what if you still can't get rid of it? Hereditary isn't about a family losing their daughter and slowly collapsing. It's about them having been broken long before all this. It was routine that kept them going for a while until the final push of the domino stone happened. The accident, it was only an excuse to reignite the trauma, to remind them of just how messed up they all were. Even in Midsommar, Danny loses her family. But it's not this new event that brings a shock. Emotionally, she had lost them long before all this. She was traumatized from the beginning. The loss only activated the dormant virus within her. She always wanted to just be accepted, be herself, loved for who she really is. Horror changed from physical harm, possibly being possessed by an entity, to immense sadness and being possessed by our own traumatic experiences. And the reason it works so well is that it's all easily relatable. A strange sound you thought you heard, the door slowly opening on its own. These are specific scenarios that creep us out during the movie and maybe for one late evening, let's say. And then you forget about it. But trauma stays. You're shocked of how much pain is channeled into several horrifying events, and you still think about it, even months later. But don't forget this detail about trauma, how we tell ourselves that we're fine. that we don't need therapy, we just need X, Y, Z, whatever else. This is the horror of denial. In Smile, we see how the main protagonist, Rose, wants to help this girl. She says it's okay how trauma can affect us, but the girl doesn't acknowledge her. She keeps talking about how she's in danger. The real danger, realistically, is she's denying it. It's the real danger, denial. She just doesn't see it. And the same thing later could be said about Rose. In the movie, she eventually rejects her fiancé's attempt at helping her. She refuses to acknowledge the pain from her past and keeps talking about a monster, a smiling creature, having murdered her cat, that it's following her. She tells people it's not her, it's a monster. She's trying to rationalize it all. Denial is the first stage of grief. And lately in horror movies, everyone is stuck in it. And if you can't accept it, then you can't go past it. So why can't we leave it behind? What makes these movies unforgettable besides the trauma? It's not getting closure. We used to leave horror movies with a sense of serenity, that things were back to normal, a happy ending. Not always, but most of the time. And even if the movie was about grief, we'd be given a resolution, some sort of hopeful, meaningful feeling. Now it's all doom and gloom. Happy endings have been erased for the sole purpose of being unforgettable. Horror realized that a painful ending was so much more effective than a happy one. Even a vague ending that leaves viewers puzzled, that leaves them questioning what really went down, was more successful, so they just adapted. A traumatic experience with a traumatic ending. That's what horror has become. Not a successful exorcism, not a family hugging, or a sunny day. Oh, wait. Except for Midsommar, I guess. Yeah, the sunny day is still true. Sure. But okay. They show you pain, then they build horror around that pain, then they end everything in some more pain. And by the end of it all, we leave with our chests tight, our thoughts scattered, and something just doesn't feel right. We feel hurt, and then it hits you. Why? They always end up smiling. You don't leave these movies scared. You leave them feeling emotionally drained, remembering the very things you worked so hard to forget. Trauma is the new horror. You've just watched Fax Machine 9000. Thank you so much.